Welcome back, everyone. It's Eric from Rare Candy. Here today we are back on PTCGO taking a look at another deck for the post-rotation format. And this is going to be the next in line of the previous or formerly bad cards that we are attempting to update with some new tricks from Darkness Ablaze, and that is going to be the Falinks deck. So before we get into the actual deck list though, be sure to smack that like button, help us beat the YouTube algorithm best we can at least. And if you need any cards to complete this deck or any others, of course, head over to our friends PTCGOstore.com. Use that coupon code RareCandy at checkout, save yourself some money. And of course, our patrons at patreon.com/RareCandyTCG actually have an exclusive discount code of their own that gets them an even bigger discount. So like I said, guys, if you are in the market for some codes, check out our friends over at PTCGOstore.com. But getting back into the actual deck here, like I said, we are attempting to update Falinks. If you guys aren't too familiar with this archetype, came out back in Rebel Clash, both of the Falinks cards. So we have the baby Falinks here, has that team attack, 30 for each Pokemon on your bench that has Falinks in their name. So of course we have a full bench of Falinks cards. We're going to hit for 150. That's really cool because we can count both this one and the Falinks V to calculate our damage. Call for Family, believe it or not, actually a very solid attack in this deck too, just because if we are going second on our first turn, we can use this, fill up our bench a little bit more, and get set up a little bit better. So if Call for Family, this is actually one of the few decks where this style of attack is pretty decent, to be honest. So this is probably our main attacker just because it's probably the easier of the two Falinks to get up and running. But of course, we do have 4 copies of Falinks V as well. Falinks V has this ability, all of your Pokemon with Falinks in their name take 20 less damage from opponents' attacks. So what this means, we have a full swarm of 4 Falinks V. We have effectively a minus 80 reduction, give us effectively 240 HP on the V, and then from there, effectively 170 HP on the baby Falinks, which is pretty cool. So we have some really good tank ability with this deck. Giga Impact also pretty good for 2 fighting and a colorist is 210. Or with a martial arts dojo, more importantly, we can hit for 220, scaling up all the way to 250, which is going to allow us to knock out Zacian V, which is obviously really important in this format. So Falinks V also gets helped with, of course, the new addition of Turbo Patch coming into the format. So of course, this is another way we can cheat energies into play, get that heavier hitting attack up and running a little bit quicker. You know, in the late game, a lot of times you do want like a heavier hitting attack to sort of close out the game. And Turbo Patch is one way we can sort of do that. Another new card from Darkness Ablaze, very important for this deck, is Cape of Toughness. So this is another way we can add to the tanking options of the Falinks deck. Give us 50 more HP. So this is going to bring the baby Falinks all the way from 170 up to 220 HP effectively once you factor in all of your Falinks Vs and Cape of Toughness, which is pretty insane. Also, likewise, for the Falinks V, this is going to buff us all the way up to effectively 290 HP. So definitely some cool stuff happening for the Falinks deck in terms of the amount of HP it has. A lot of other cards in this deck are going to look pretty standard. Pretty standard supporter line outside of the copies of Sonya. I think this is a card that actually is generally kind of bad, but actually makes sense here in the Falinks deck, just because there's not that many great searching options outside of Quick Ball in the deck. You know, cards like Pokemon Communication or Great Ball are pretty good, admittedly, but only in decks that play a high amount of Pokemon, which we do not. So Sonya is probably our next best option, especially if we do choose to go second. This is a really strong supporter card. We can be able to grab 2 Falinks or Falinks V out of deck or 2 fighting energies and get up and running. Now, of course, we also have some copies of Pokegear in the deck. This can be nice on turn 1, helping us get that turn 1 Sonya, or even in the mid game, if we have a couple of these in our hand and we just want to draw cards at this point, we can use Pokegear to find a research, or maybe that boss's orders we need to potentially close out a game as well. So I mentioned we have the copies of Martial Arts Dojo to buff our damage a little bit. Looking at the energy line, of course, 4 Twin Energy to power up our Falinks, and also the 9 Fighting Energy. So I will say I did previously have Capture Energy in previous iterations of this list, but since we have Turbo Patch, I want to kind of just go all in on Turbo Patch. And by playing more special energies, that eats into our basic energy counts and makes our Turbo Patch a little less reliable than it already is. So I just decided to cut the capture energies and go all in on our basic fightings in this particular list. So, I mean, that's pretty much the deck, guys. Falinks, like I said, it's another one of these like bad cards from the previous format. We'll have to see how it's going to do once we get in some games. So let's see how the Falinks deck is going to do in the new post-rotation format. All right, so let's go and call the coin flip. Do lose, but on the plus side, I don't think we care if we go first or second. I think we would prefer to go second, but if we do go first, it's not the end of the world, because if we can get down a manual attachment on a Falinks V preemptively, that usually feels kind of okay. So here, I don't want to research away our ordinary rod, so hopefully we can hit a Sonya or a Marnie or something like that. So probably just going to mulligan. It's going to be the Mad Party deck. I'm actually not convinced we can beat this though. Just because we are weak to Psychic, so all of our like damage reduction barely matters. Now if we could force them to attack us with Bunnelby, then I think we actually might stand a chance a little bit, but yeah, I'm not feeling too confident just yet about the spot that we're going to be in. Okay, just pass over us from there. That's okay. So yeah, we will Sonya. Grab our 2 Falinks V here. Will Pokegear, like, I want to quit, like, we have to do this. I mean, I guess we can get rid of Switch, which is actually probably the best target to get rid of here. So we can just grab another Falinks, and then from there we can do Call for Family, fill up our bench, and be good to go. So pretty good first turn, but just, again, kind of unfortunate we are playing against the Mad Party deck, especially since we prized a Falinks V. That's going to reduce our damage a little bit more, which feels bad. But again, guys, if we can force them to attack us with Bunnelby rather than Poltegeist, I think that might be kind of our ticket here. So there's a Dedenne. So actually kind of glad we did not get rid of the Great Catcher. So next turn, I definitely wouldn't mind going for Great Catcher, actually picking this thing off, because we have plenty of easy prizes on the bench. We're eventually going to need some ways at getting some easy prizes of our own here. Yeah, especially if they're getting on the triple as opposed to a twin energy, that actually makes it kind of enticing to take out the Dedenne. So they're, getting set up pretty well. That's kind of unfortunate, but yeah, as you guys can see, they're smart enough. They realize they want to attack with Poltegeist, hit us for weakness. They realize Bunnelby's not going to be doing too much to us compared to Poltegeist. So of course, the Mad Party deck is 20 for each of the Pokemon with Mad Party in their discard pile. Let's see what they're doing right now. So they're doing 120. They would bring up Falinks right after we get rid of Switch. That's so annoying, guys. Okay. Oh wait. Sure, we'll just go for probably research. Oh, man, I really don't want to get rid of Ordinary Rod. So yeah, we'll actually probably just use Erica's Hospitality. So come on, guys, we want a switching card. Well, we did not quite get there. I mean, hold on, let's think about this. So, I mean, we would have to hit 2 Turbo Patch Heads. I don't really like those odds, I'm not gonna lie to you. So, yeah, I think we just... Man, I feel like this Falinks is going down next turn no matter what. So I think I'm just going to maybe kind of concede that. Yeah, I think we're just going to concede that Falinks is going to go down. and just pass. So here's the familiar bell. Luckily that won't get them another Poltegeist. That's kind of the good thing. Poltegeist is definitely the thing we're worried about, since that is kind of their engine to get set up here. But they can discard the Galarian Mr. Rime, draw 2 cards. I just can't believe we tossed the switch and then they brought up our Falinks. That definitely seemed a little bit unlikely. But next turn, no matter what, we can pretty much guarantee to knock out this Dedenne GX. So they're going to get rid of the Mr. Rime. There's another Poltegeist, okay. Do they have another Mad Partier to discard? Okay, it looks like they do. A Great Ball from our opponent. Another Galarian Mr. Rime. Do they have a way to discard that? They still need to find energy this turn. That's like the next thing they're going to be looking for. Quick Ball. Okay, they have the Twin Energy, so we are going to be knocked out. So yeah, we just do this. I mean, like, a part of me almost wants to just knock this thing out this turn, just to maximize our Ordinary Rod potentially. So I think that's kind of where I want to take this. So sure, we'll just do this. Like, if this was a triple and that got discarded, I would probably go for the Dedenne, but I think this turn I'm content with actually just going for the team attack, knocking out the Poltegeist. Hopefully we can find them. Hopefully this next turn they have to attack with a triple. That way we can bring up the Dedenne, knock them out. And actually now that we have Marnie, that's even better. We can ideally... Okay, so there's a triple, so we might actually have a turn to catch them on a turn without an attachment. So there's the T-Break. I'm cool with that. Discard the Dedenne. And a Mad Party. So 280. Yeah, they're basically just going to one-shot anything we promote. So glad we held on to the Ordinary Rod here. So now we can... Let's see... So yeah, we'll just go for Great Catcher. Get rid of probably both of these, to be honest, because we can Turbo Patch them. Okay, that is definitely good. Turbo Patch again. Another Head's also good. I think we're going to spread out our energy a little bit here. We're going to go for the Ordinary Rod, so we'll get both these back in deck. We'll Quick Ball, get another Falinks. We'll get down our Air Balloon, and then from there we're just going to Marnie here. So unfortunately this hand not too impressive, but we do have Pokegear for next turn. But we're just going to go for the team attack. We are going to get some prizes too, so definitely would have liked energy. Hey, that's definitely good. We want to see that. Another Falinks V, also perfectly acceptable. So if we can catch them on a turn without energy, I think that's going to be our chance to swing back in this game, because right now they're one turn ahead of us, basically. But they have a Roxy, so that feels kind of bad. Hopefully they just have one Pokemon. Oh, they have two. So that draw 6 really feels sketchy for us. And then they can still use both their abilities. Yeah, they're probably going to be able to find energy. There's a reset stamp. Tool Scrapper, I'm content with that. Big question is, do they have energy? Interesting, so they're going to attack with Bumblebee. Oh, well, I guess that at this point they can probably knock out our Falinks even with Bumblebee. So they probably would like to protect their Poltegeist. That definitely seems likely. Okay, so they are going to go for the Mad Party. So we just want energy this turn, so I mean, I don't think it really matters. I guess we'll get down the cape over here. I mean, let's check. 4, 8, 10, 11. So 220, 240 after this. I mean, I guess we'll do the cape here. I don't think it's going to matter in the long run, but we're going to go for it. Oh god, this hand's bad. We desperately need this Turbo Patch Heads. We definitely are losing without it. Oh my god. We place so much energy in this list too. That's like the dumb thing about this turn. Oh my god. That feels so awful, guys. I mean, jeez, that's so bad. So we're just gonna have to switch and pass. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely the aim. If this was like a tournament setting, I would be scooping up my cards, going to game 2, but we're gonna play it out, guys. We'll see what happens, but I just don't see a world where we're gonna win this. Like, if they attach a Twin Energy to Poltegeist, that's GG at this point. So let's see what ends up happening. How many Marnies do we have? Because it is... Oh, there's Pokemon Catcher. Oh, man. Okay, so there's the Mad Party. Yeah, we lost that one, guys. Missing that energy, absolutely crucial. I still think we honestly were probably more likely to lose that one anyways, just because our opponent was one attack ahead of us. But would have been nice to at least being able to keep in the game a little bit better, though. Okay, so we see the Eternatus deck box. I mean, if that's the case, feeling pretty good about Eternatus. That seems like one of our better matchups. So we will choose to go second just so we can maybe attack, or in this case, do both. We can use Sonya and attack on turn 1. So I think I'm just going to leave this hand. We don't know what we're playing against, and I don't want to get hit with a Fion or something. Though I guess we have the Air Balloon, but I don't want to put it down if we don't have to. So, also this kind of... Oh, it's going to be the Maractus deck. I think I saw Mahone post something about this. Was it him? I forget. I saw someone post something about Maractus. So I feel okay about this matchup, though, I think. So we'll get down the Falinks, get down the Sonya, and we'll probably do this. So, and then we can call for family. Sure. Now, I really just don't want to get knocked out and then have nothing for the next turn. That's kind of like my big fear. I mean, they have to flip a bunch of heads to make that happen. So, and they still have to find a Porygon Z. So I think I'm just going to do this. Just going to go for the call for family. A couple more Falinks V. So we have the full minus 80 reduction at this point. If we top deck an energy, we can start smacking this Maractus for weakness as well. Again, we just need to stay alive and buy ourselves time to find some energy here. Now, ideally, we get hit with a Marnie. That'd be best case scenario for us at this point. There's a quick ball from our opponent, so let's see what they're going to go for. There's a Marnie hitting the discard pile. Don't like seeing that. Feels bad. So they're going to go for a Crobat here. Looks like they're only going to be able to Crobat for 1 unless they have some other cards. Okay, they do have the Porygon 2, so they are sort of foregoing the Porygon Z this turn. I'm okay with that. Especially if we do top deck an energy, we can get an easy 2 prizes on Crobat. I don't hate that. Okay, and an Intrepid Sword. So we're going to be safe for at least a turn. Ugh, man, this is not great. So I think I'm actually just going to Air Balloon and retreat here. I also kind of want to preserve this fighting energy just because, yeah, our hand's not too great. We definitely want to find an energy ASAP here. So there's the Porygon Z's, of course, with Crazy Code. They can start dumping those energies. Glimwood Tangle, of course, to reflip their coin flip seems good. There's Recycle Energy. They do need to find a Grass Energy at some point. I imagine they're probably playing Aurora Energy. That seems like a safe bet here. Oh man. They're going to be bummed whenever we knock this thing out. So as long as they don't have Boss's Auras and just KO us and we can top deck just an energy, we're going to be in a good spot. Like once we deal with this, that's going to be pretty big for us because we can ideally top deck an energy. Oh, and they're just going to retreat. Oh, so maybe their start's also equally kind of awkward. Do they have stuff to attack with Zacian? Okay, so they're just going to like preemptively attach energy. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, it looks like they are going to also be in sort of a sketchy spot with their deck. Okay, so we're just going to Dojo, bump their stadium. And if we can just hit switch or another air balloon and energy, we're going to be in a good spot. We do not, unfortunately. Man, where is our energy? This deck play is what, 13? Not counting Sonya as well. So if we top deck Sonya, that would actually be kind of decent as well. But yeah, I think we're just going to Quick Ball. Thin one more card out of deck and pass over to our opponent. So I think we're honestly playing to our outs. The issue is just a little bit of bad luck, honestly, guys. There's going to be the Crazy Code. Okay, so they do have their Aurora Energy. They just need energy to retreat this Zacian. There's another Slumbering, or not Slumbering Force, a Glimwood Tangle. Getting both of those forest cards mixed up. Okay, they did not have the extra energy to retreat. That is good. So it's going to Pokegear. We do hit a Research, but I really don't want to research away this hand. I think we're actually just going to sit on this. I don't think we can... God. I mean, we do have Ordinary Rod in deck, so... I'm actually going to save this. I honestly don't mind letting a Falinks go down if we have to. And they still have to flip a decent amount of heads too. I mean, they're getting a ton of energy on this Maractus. I just don't know what they're going to do whenever like one of these goes down because there's no special energy recovery in format that I'm aware of. Not any good special energy recovery. So, yeah, I'm kind of cool with this if they do knock us out. It will be hilarious if they do flip a bunch of heads though. So they do have to do 240. They need what, 4 heads, right? Because it's 60 for each energy attached to Maractus. God, they have so much. This is ridiculous. So Powerful Needles, let's see. God, they have so much energy. I'm pretty sure they do knock us out there, right? Yeah, so it's just enough. But that is okay, guys. I just want to make sure we didn't have to discard another Falinks. Getting rid of 2 Turbo Patch kind of feels bad, but we're just going to go for the Research. And we better hit energy. I'm going to be so mad if we don't. Okay, we do though. And that's pretty good as well. So we're just going to Ordinary Rod. Put both his back while we have the Ordinary Rod in hand. Don't want to get this thing Marnied away. So we are just going to retreat though, since, you know, no point in attaching a Twin Energy to this one. May as well save the Fighting Energy. And just go for the team attack. And now what does our opponent do to win the game? I mean, they're going to get some Recycle Energies back every time we knock something out, but... I mean... Yeah, I just don't see a world where they can successfully stream Maractus and a ton of energy enough times to actually close out a game. Evolution Incense, so probably getting another Porygon Z into play. That's fine. We're not too worried about Porygon at this point. If I'm going to chase anything, probably be Crobat. That'd be the next thing I would probably go after, just because it's an easy 2 prizes. probably going to see a quick ball for another Maractus. But again, okay, Cramorant. Cramorant could be annoying for us potentially. But they're just going to discard that. I'm cool with that. There's Eldegoss. Again, guys, I'm just kind of curious. Do they have any way to actually getting back these special energies? Because let's see how many hit the discard pile. 4 Capture Energy, 2 Twin, 2 Roar. Man, that's so many. There is the Marnie. Which feels kind of bad because I actually did kind of like our hand, to be honest. We had energy. That's really all I wanted to see. Oh my god, what is this? This is so bad. Please let us stay alive for a turn because this hand is so bad. So yeah, they are going to hit for 120, and I'm pretty sure we don't have any fighting energy in discard pile. Can we hit a fighting energy, please? Okay, we do hit research, thank god. I was about to be so mad. So we'll just do this, research, and please let's hit energy here. Okay, we do. Fantastic. So yeah, we'll just we'll get rid of Sonya probably. I'm cool with tossing that. Go for another Falinks V. Right, that seems pretty good to me. Bump their stadium. Just do this, and from there we'll go for the team attack. And I mean, again, they're getting back recycle energies, but I mean, they only play so many of those. I feel pretty safe this turn. I mean, I don't know what's in their hand, to be fair, guys, but we got rid of their stadium. They've gone through a butt ton of energy, so this Falinks hopefully should be able to go the distance. Now, how many Turbo Patch have we gone through? 3. Oh, geez. Let's see. We've gone through only 1 Twin Energy, so if we do research, more likely, I think we should be able to find one. Let's see. They are going to research getting rid of another boss's orders. Okay, so they have 2 down. There's a Great Ball from our opponent, going for a Porygon Z. Now, eventually, I think there's actually a world where we can maybe even strand something to deck them out, because eventually they're going to commit all of their energy to, like, their active. Yeah, I think we win. They only have 2 cards left in deck, so even if we don't go, like, the prize route, we can, I think, just win just from going boss's orders past at this point. Oof. Definitely some rough flips from our opponent, but yeah, that's pretty much game at this point, because we can just... yeah, sure, we'll attach here. And I'm just going to Marty them. It actually gets them closer to decking out, which is kind of funny. And yeah, we'll just go for the team attack here. And guys, I mean, their energy is like dunzo at this point. So yeah, we have, I think, too many win conditions. Just being able to go boss's orders past feels pretty good for us. Or, I mean, I think we can actually win both ways at this point. We can go the prize strategy or the... Okay, there's going to be a Marnie, so I guess they're trying to prevent themselves from decking out. That would make sense. Like, if they're going to go for Marnie, they should probably just Marnie with the recycles in hand, because they're going to draw back into them, inevitably. There is the Marnie, which feels kind of bad, because we did have the boss's orders, but that is fine. Okay, so they're going to confuse themselves. That's cool. And we get the victory screen, so yeah. Kind of a rough one for our opponent there. Falinks deck was able to take down the crazy Maractus Porygon Z deck. Alrighty guys, so that's going to wrap up our look here at the Falinks deck. I will have to say, I think this is one of the less successful sort of experiments I've been, messing with. A couple of the other previously, like, bad cards we've been checking out on the channel, like Inteleon and Torkoal recently, I think are actually, like, decks kind of worth taking seriously. Falinks, I think, is still probably a little short of where it needs to be, like, a truly competitive deck. But at the very least, guys, I mean, the new set definitely gave it some new tools to mull over and consider if you are a fan of the Falinks archetype. But even with that being said, guys, hope you still enjoy a look at this updated Falinks deck. If you did enjoy today's content, of course, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you can, consider supporting us by becoming a patron at patreon.com/rarecandytcg or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.